Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Noel Zone. And we're going to be here with the legend of the traveling Tardis. Christian should be with us in just a few minutes. And of course, we won't be talking about gender who or twiddlywinks or anything like that. We're just going to have a bit of a chit chat as we do here. But we got someone in the chat already. President Lemon is in the chat. President Lemon. Well, it's not President Orange Man, but President Lemon. You'll have to do with the lemon, unfortunately. There you go. But we got someone in the chat. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're new. Thanking you very much indeed. So we'll just wait for Christian to come on because I don't know what he wants to actually talk about because apparently he hasn't seen this episode. So I don't know really what to talk about because I've been focused mostly on Doctor Who all week. So it'll be interesting to see what we're going to actually talk about on this stream. Normally we just wing it anyway. We end up just rambling away for about an hour. This will be, as you know, with Christian, we do short streams. We've got a limited window. So he will be with us in just a few minutes time, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, it is all madness just until he comes back. I suppose I might as well just talk. So yeah, it's been madness, mad time right now. If you're a fan of the show formerly known as Doctor Who, but what can you do really? There's nothing you can do. Boycotts are not going to work now at this stage. As I said, the time to boycott was years ago. But nobody'd listen, everybody thought we were crazy. We nearly got a boycott going in the early days and got to be honest with you, it nearly fucking worked, but nobody would stick to it. And then that's what happened. Then they regained momentum again. So, I support deportation and raise in wages for all Brits, but also tax cuts on lemonade. I am a fan of lemonade, though. Actually, proper lemonade. So yeah, I'd give you me vote just for the lemonade because you cut taxes on lemonade. Proper lemonade, of course. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's as I said earlier, it's going to history. Repeat itself, and the articles will get worse, by the way, folks, because the worse this show gets and the worse the criticism is, the worse these people get. It's just the way they are. It's madness, really. But it's something you have to all deal with because they're not going to relent. They're going to keep up the narrative now, like they do with most things. Do you have a narrative, they stick to it. Everybody else that has a different opposing opinion, and even if it is, if you come back at them with facts, it doesn't matter. The media are going to do what they do, and then, of course, that drives on their sycophant, so-called Doctor Who fans, and then we get the result that we're seeing right now. So I've got my co-host, so I'm going to stop because obviously he's not talking Doctor Who. So I'm going to stop talking Doctor Who because I've been talking about it the last couple of days. So now we can talk about something different. But it is my co-host who will be with me for a while. It's the legend of the traveling TARDIS, Christian.
Hey, Connor, President Lemon, how you doing? Hey, I feel your pain. I've been talking about Doctor Who for quite a long time in the past couple of weeks, so I get you. I'm just like, yep, we knew it.
Yeah, I mean, Christian, we did sit here a week before. We did actually, because I said, you know what, we'll lift the shackles and we'll talk about Doctor Who, and we were saying that if it turned out the worst case scenario, what the consequences would be, and we've actually seen that now. I mean, it is crazy though. I mean, isn't it? I mean, it's it's just been one. I don't know what he's playing at. I really do not know. But tomorrow I do the review properly, like, and I'm already sick and tired of talking about the first episode. I haven't given
Hey,
too much away about how I feel, but I get to talk about it tomorrow now and get it finally off my chest. But
well,
it's been a disaster. I don't care what they say, right? Ratings wise, I know you don't want to get stuck into it, but if we just concentrate on the ratings rather than go into what happened in the show, I think then people will be less pissed off, yeah, including yourself. So I
well,
mean, you got to
I'm.
be honest though. You're a Doctor Who fan. You've seen the height of Doctor Who during the 50th anniversary, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. We seen how many millions of people tuned in for that as well, Christian. Now they're spinning this rating of 5.08 million as some sort of triumph, right? But
Mhm.
people are forgetting the context here, right? And the context is very important. And that context is it's the 60th anniversary. Like this was a 60th anniversary. Okay, it's the very first episode of the 60th anniversary. But
No,
that's
no,
still a
no.
poor showing considering if you measure it up towards the 50th. It's a
No.
poor showing.
Full disclosure, before you get in, maybe I want to lay out a little bit of a groundwork. I haven't seen it yet.
No, but you could talk about the rate. Yeah, but you could still talk about the ratings. I mean, you don't have to say anything about the
I
episode if you haven't seen it yet. But I mean, you could still talk about the ratings. I mean,
no, I meant
5.08 is absolutely ridiculous.
well, here's the thing, and this is strictly my opinion. First of all, I did something I went against my own principle about. I actually watched other people, other podcasts, I was watching my friends and how they reacted before I go because I strictly am somebody who goes, I want to watch it first, and when I give my review, I don't want it to be influenced by anybody. But I just felt a little odd, so I said, you know what? I'm going to let this one slide, and I will watch it later. I have to watch it because I do a Doctor Who podcast. But when I heard what happened, I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to watch this. I'm just like, I know what happens. It's basically remember what it was. It's what's her name? Doom. Zeus, whatever her name is. I can't
Oh,
remember.
Jesus, Seuss Kempner. Jesus,
Seuss
oh, you
Kepner.
get me.
One of the things that she said, I don't know if it was on her profile or in her chat, but she reminded everybody, it's just like, if you're here for Doctor Who, thank you. And if I make you cringe, good. I'm just like, I never understood that statement. Why would you want to make me cringe, first of all? Second of all, it is not good. If you make me cringe, I'm not going to watch it. And after I saw bits and pieces of the segment, for the most part that I'm getting out of everybody, they liked it, but be damned if somebody just took a bunch of rocks, threw it into a pillowcase, and just swacked you as hard as they could, woke style. And remember, this is the guy who went uh, Taika Waititi on fans. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, he
dude,
told fans before this tough when Davros Gate happened, tough, uh, getting smart with fans, and then this backfires. Listen, no matter what happens here, right? Those ratings are shambles, and if they think they're going to improve for the second episode, that's the tragedy here. They actually think that they've won something here. These people and Tiddlywinks News and all of these other media platforms, you think you have won something. Like you are going straight away off the bat. You have decided that because fans have legitimate, by the way, legitimate because you have even said in your own articles that trans people are in uproar at certain things he did. So it's okay for them to have criticism, but not to be bigots. But anybody else that isn't trans is not allowed an opinion. Just like everybody that was disabled, if you were against Davros Gate, you were told to keep your mouth shut because, it's all about the message.
which is
Right?
funny
Daniel was in
because,
the chat earlier on and he
yeah,
said that he was told to keep his mouth shut.
yeah,
So,
which I think is funny because the people who he's speaking for are speaking against out. I'm just like, wow, what a way. I'm sorry, I got to call it out. You're a narcissist. That's the only way I can put it. If you think you can defend or come up with this ideology that's like, well, people in wheelchairs were always considered evil. No. Where do you see that? Now, I went back and I was trying to research a little bit so I could have a better stance on this. But if you really think about it, I've always saw like these evil characters, even if they're in wheelchairs or if they're working with a cane. First of all, they're supposed to be spooky type. And second of all, I've always saw that as their upcomings, like Captain Hook. He got his arm cut off from Peter Pan because he was fighting him. That was his upcomings, and that's what you get for being a jerk. So when
And
I see
Davros
these,
was dying and created the travel life support
right, and
machine
that was not a
to keep
wheelchair, that
himself
was
alive.
right, that was a life support machine. And not only that, the bigger difference here is that Frankenstein wanted to be his monster. This was his legacy. So the more and more, and there was a big debate whether he used his DNA or whatever to create it. It doesn't matter. He created them. It was Frankenstein making a legacy out of his monster. And because he loved his monster so much, he would have done anything to make his monster better. But that's how he saw it. Had he not said a word, people would have gone, "Oh, okay, this is the prequel." And Julian Glover, is it Julian Glover? I'm sorry, Julian Bleach. Fantastic job being an upright Davros. I mean, I could see that this was going to turn into Terry Malloy and all the others who played after. But to go, well, I'm making this on an assumption. I'm like, I don't know of anybody who thinks like that, with the exception of maybe Dr. Evil, who used that little hover thing to get around, and then he started walking all over the place. I'm just like, okay, I mean, like, I can't think of this because you're projecting something that I don't have in my head. And the reason why evil is like that, where they have a scar, where they have a missing limb, or they're in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, that's usually because there was a karma built in and we were supposed to be scared. If you become evil,
It's like Freddy
what would
Krueger.
happen to you? Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger was burned by the mothers and the fathers of the town because of what he was doing
Lemon.
with the children. And that's when he came back, obviously,
right,
as evil as he did. That's why he had the scars and the claws, because they remember the claws when he used to do the stuff that he used to do. So, again, you're absolutely spot on, but this goes over these people's head. That's the thing. They don't get why we're criticizing. We're not criticizing because we have a problem with trans people and people in wheelchairs in the show. Anyway, you know what I mean? That's not why we're arguing. We're arguing because it's super fucking official and it's badly fucking done. It is.
No, my dad had rheumatoid arthritis. He was crippled in both his arms and legs, and I can tell you he was in a wheelchair. I was walking more in 10 years than he was in his entire lifetime. And I can tell you safely, we never had a discussion like Pinky in the Brain when we're going to take over the world. He did his best from his wheelchair.
Exactly.
And he did a lot more than people did on 2 legs.
Yeah.
They did on 4 wheels.
Exactly.
A best friend of mine who just recently passed away, Steve Bush, he used to sit with me in the science class. We used to just go bonkers. The only reason why I hated the guy is he kept on trying to run me over with his wheelchair. But I mean, it was something that we acknowledged. It was there, and that was all it was. We didn't make it bigger than what it was supposed to be. Well, my dad was in his wheelchair, and in his final days when he couldn't even use his electric wheelchair, he wasn't. I mean, he was a great man, but it's like that's the thing. It's supposed to be a reflection. If you turn bad stuff's going to happen to you, and that's why these disfigurements and all that stuff. And then they bring in this woman who's got like rockets, and I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, see again, right? I'll talk about this tomorrow.
What's the message here?
But Ruth Madley is a fucking great actress, and to bring her in. And then to add a little gimmick to our wheelchair, which I'll get into tomorrow. This is why I have criticisms. I love her as an actress. I think she's a very good actress. It doesn't bother me or matter to me that she's in a wheelchair. The fact of the matter is she's a fucking brilliant actress. And again, just like Chris Chibnall, RTD did not utilize her in that episode. Now, she may, as we said, this is a 3-part story arc. She may feature a lot more, but if that was the forced introduction to that character, then that was absolutely awful. That was awful. She deserved better than that, and I'll even say Yasmin Finney deserved better than what they got, and I'll go into it in further detail tomorrow. But it's absolutely, listen, there's criticism out there from the trans community, right? They've made it clear. Even Tiddlywinks News acknowledges that, along with other media outlets out there, right? Oh, by the way, Christian, just in case you're wondering what Twiddlywinks News is,
Yes,
that's my new
please.
name. That's my new name for Pink News. Twiddlywinks, right? So Twiddlywinks have even admitted in their own article, which we read out today while I was giving me comments on it, that the trans community weren't happy with elements of it. Another publication also said the same thing, right? But if the majority of the fans, because I know the trans community are not going to like this, but unfortunately, these are a small minority of the fandom. The majority of the fandom also have a problem, but they're told they can't complain about it. We have every right to complain just as much as the trans community do. Because at the end of the day, right,
Yeah,
just like the trans community, if you're going to have characters in there, well, then we want them done respectfully. We want their characters to be built up properly and not just be used as plot devices to move the story along or to explain something. And that's why it's disingenuous. And that's why it needs to be called out. So anybody has a problem with us calling out, all I will say is you need to check yourselves and take a step back and listen to what we're actually telling you. They're not doing these characters, these people that they're bringing in, that they're making such a big, huge deal out of, because whether they have a disability, whether their skin color is different to ours, or whether they've changed gender, and yet when they put them in the show, then they don't do them justice. That's why we have a problem. Anyway, Christian, go ahead. You were going to say something there.
Well, what was the message for the person, for the actress in the wheelchair? What was that? That I should avoid standing next to somebody? They might launch something at me.
I thought
that was just so insulting. But if she did it, I guess there's a reason why. And
yeah,
but somebody else made a
tweet. Yeah, but she put up a tweet to say that she was delighted that her character got such a positive reaction and that the message got out there. See, this is the thing, though. Actresses like Ruth Hadley and actor like David Tennant, they've kind of sold out now. They know it's shit. They actually know it's shit, but the message is more important to the youth. So once they're getting the message out there, the kids don't care whether these characters are developed or not. They don't really give a shit. All they care about is the message and the representation. So she put out a tweet to say that she knew that the representation and the message meant a lot. And that's all it is. I don't know what message he was trying to send with the character.
Exactly. I'm just like, what message are you sending? I'm like, I must have missed the memo. First of all, it doesn't sound like a message. It sounds like a projection. You're telling me that there's something wrong, and then you're telling me what you're going to do to fix it.
That's what I mean. But
there's nothing wrong here. It's like, we have tons of people who have had disabilities, and I'm trying to look for the episode now. There was an actress, and if anybody can find it, I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to remember. It was like something. It was the last season of Peter Capaldi, and there was an actress, for a better term, I think she has dwarfism. And she played her role spectacularly.
In the episode, the monks episode.
Oh my God,
she was brilliant. I wanted her to be a companion.
I was ready to kick Bill and Nardole out of the Tardis and say, put her in.
Well, not Bill, but maybe kick out Nardole
I would just I would replace those two for her, because she spot on well. You could tell that Peter and her were having a great time. If anybody can pull up the actress, it was about the monks, Lemon, but I was just like, I don't know why she didn't get a chance to go into the TARDIS, and here was a good chance. And plus, whatever, they tried the disability with Ryan, and it just backfired. Then we felt like, oh no, they're just pandering.
And now now because they failed, they're overcompensating now, which just makes them look like idiots. And it's shameful. It is. I agree with you on the route. I don't want to give too much away, but that's my main gripe. She's a great actress. She was brilliant in years and years. And then you bring her into this, and then you give her little or nothing to fucking do anyway in the fucking episode. And then when she does turn up, then you use a terrible gimmick with her fucking wheelchair, right? And here's another thing. Just one more thing, the wheelchair. Right, so this wheelchair could whack out darts or rockets or whatever the fuck, right? Why wasn't the wheelchair electric in the first place then? Why did she?
Everybody was
Why was she?
yeah, I was like, unit doesn't have a budget to get her to look like
So they could give her a wheelchair that
Professor
was
X.
electric now. So you put little gimmicks, so you put little other yokes on it, but you still get her to wheel her. Fuck, what? Seriously, this is why. But I'll get into more tomorrow because we'll have the panel and all of that.
Well, I
But
found
Lindsay is in the chat. So hey, Lindsay, how are you doing? The actress's name was Rachel Denning,
Yeah.
according to President Lemon, who is going to give us all taxless, no, not taxless lemonade, but he did say he'd knock some tax off lemonade. I think if he wants air vote, he has to knock the tax off the lemonade. What do you reckon, folks? No taxes on lemonade.
Oh, and she played Erica in that episode that we were questioning.
Yeah.
Hey, Glenn, if you like the shitty wheelchair, I'm like, I thought it was interesting when I saw it in little bits and clips that I saw. But again, it wasn't the fact that she had a shitty wheelchair. It was the fact that there was some message I was supposed to listen to. And I'm like, I don't get this message. I'm like,
I don't get it. But
so
look,
I thought it was
I
cool,
agree.
but it was just like, okay, but
I agree. Look, if anybody did like this episode, don't fear or think that you're not welcome in this chat. I'd actually like to hear other people with a different point of view. I mean, if you did like the shooting wheelchair moment, good on you. I just thought was
well, no, like I said,
yeah.
Glenn, it has nothing to do with the actress, her being her having a disability, her being in a wheelchair, and I might have appreciated if RTD had just said nothing. Just had her on and just, now she's the biggest.
That's it. That's all you needed to
just
do.
Go for it.
Because she was a strong character anyway. So you didn't need to add any other gimmick or anything like that. She was a strong character anyway. When she first meets the doctor and all, I like that little interaction between the two of them. It's really good. It's really good, it is. But then RTD just decides, I've got to put focus on this wheelchair or something for just some weird reason that I can't comprehend. This, and I said it again, and I'm going to say it one more time. I honestly believe that this man was maybe prejudiced against people in wheelchairs back in the day, and this is his way of making up for it, because there seems to be a lot of projection here, because it's not the audience that's thinking any of this with people in wheelchairs. Nobody thinks that when they see a person in a TV show or a movie in a wheelchair. We never make assumptions. So there's something really wrong here. Right, and I think it's him, and he needs to sort himself out. We get it, right? You're trying to make up. You can make up in different ways. Don't overcompensate. If you were a bit of a prick back in the day, it's understandable. People change, right? People can grow and move on. Nobody's gonna hold it against you. But for fuck's sake, stop with the overcompensating. It just looks fucking ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. Go ahead.
I was about to say the other time that everybody might have missed is last Christmas, where the 12th Doctor's referring to that woman as sexy, and then we find out when she's home, she's actually in a wheelchair. It didn't change anything.
No,
it might have given us a little bit of a backstory, because it was interesting that she's walking the whole time, but when she's dreaming, she's walking, but she's in a wheelchair, and he addresses her as sexy. I just thought that was more character things than anything else.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I wasn't sitting there going like, "Oh, she's going to take over the world now."
But the focus wasn't on the fact that she was in a bleeding wheelchair. Do you know what I mean? That's the point. It wasn't the focus, and as you said, it's just a nice little, sweet little. I mean, I don't know. I just he's lost the plot anyway. Glenn Piper agrees there. He's definitely insane. I mean, there's something, and I mean, you know, for a man that was criticizing the way Disney Plus did their business with Star Wars and all of this, saying exactly what he's doing is startling to me. And, you know, it just shows he's either a hypocrite or he's just sold out, or just both, which makes it even worse. We'll just have to see what happens with the next two episodes. But all I'm just going to say is, like, with the rumors that are swirling about as well, it's not looking good at all. It's actually looking even worse. Cannon breakers are on the way as well. Heartbreak for fans. Apparently it's worse than The Timeless Child. All of this is all the quotes and the rumors that we're hearing. I mean, we
I forgot about that, Lemon. Thank you for bringing that up. The woman with the one arm in flux. And
yeah,
the Eighth Doctor says it best, and I think this is the best quote that I would put on Russell. It's the Eighth Doctor's quote says, "I love humans, always seeing patterns and things that aren't there." I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, we did.
It's sad. It's sad because we were we were all sitting here last week and we were like, we were having this conversation the same time last week and we were like, we're not even really excited or we haven't gotten any excitement. And, we were just fingers crossed that, he would actually put out something really great. And even if you take the message out, you're looking at a bang average episode anyway. But
Well, I put up.
by RTD's own standards, though, I will say this: with the writing that he has done over the last couple of years, especially, this is way down his standards. Something has terribly gone wrong behind the scenes, and we just now have confirmed that Disney Plus do actually have influence. Because if you go onto the Bad Wolf Studios website, they actually say that they have creative input where so they lied to the fans when they said they had none, they were only distributing it. But it looks like Disney do have creative input with
I
the
did. I did
BBC.
find. Yeah, I did find that article that they said Disney, I think, tripled the budget or something like that nature. But it's like I said, it's
Money talks.
well. The question is, well, how is this a 60th anniversary episode? How is this anything close to the 50th?
But what did it actually celebrate that was 60th anniversary? Yeah. So when you actually analyze the four, what did they actually celebrate that was part? You're right. I
Yeah,
mean, there was nothing
these three
really.
episodes are supposed to be a celebration of Doctor Who, and the first episode was about this version of Rose. And I'm just saying, my question to you is, Russell, why should I watch this?
Yeah,
I
I'll
still
ask you
haven't
this
seen it.
question: do you think it's lost some of the audience now? I
I
mean, you've
can't
been
tell
always
with
kind of highly optimistic. You've been optimistic, in fairness, about this, even though you've heard the stuff and all that. You've
good question,
always
Joe.
tried to remain optimistic. But do you think he's
He has done something that I didn't think anybody, even Chibnall, came close, but not that close. He has made me not want to watch Doctor Who. I mean, tonight, my friends are doing a review tonight, and I still haven't seen it. Now, in full disclosure, with recent events that have happened in my life, I'm taking a break, a much needed break. I haven't taken a break for the show,
no,
and
you haven't yet.
I know you know me, Noel. I mean, I don't take a break, but this one, I have to focus on family. I have to focus on getting my head together, and it's coming up with Christmas. It's the most stressful time of year.
Mm.
And I'm sorry if you're not going to see me much on my show. I'm just taking the 60th anniversary off. I am doing something possibly a little different. Whereas when we do the reviews of the shows, we want to add more content. So Melanie, Dave, and myself came up with an idea. I'll have my friends or the panelists on the team review the episodes, and I'm going to have a separate episode where I can talk myself. And I'm going to call this series the one-on-one, where audiences can sit with me and talk, and we will have a discussion. And I don't have to worry about
Do you know
other
what?
panelists. It will just be one-on-one with
I
people.
think that's. Do you
Thanks,
know
Lemon.
what
I
though?
appreciate it.
I think that's a great compromise right there. Because then it's less stress for you as well, because obviously you would be hosting normally the panels. So
Right.
this way now you could just concentrate on giving your opinion while the guys then do their panel. And yeah, I think that's a great idea. It gives you time then, you know what I mean? And you're less stressed as well then. So that's a good idea. I think people will really look forward to your one-on-one reviews of it. But as you said yourself, family comes first. So make sure that you're that everything is okay there before you come back is what I'd say. Get that rest, enjoy it. Because you do need to recharge your batteries. You've been working very hard this year, mate. You've been at fan conventions and all because you were here and showing us and stuff. So you need a bit of a break, and the Christmas period is the perfect time for you to recharge your batteries, mate, and come back fully fresh, maybe before the new year or whenever you decide to come back, and you'll be fresh again, and then away you go.
Well, I want to invite everybody tonight. Melanie's going to be taking the helm. She's going to be bringing in a couple people to talk about the 60th and the Star Beast, because some people didn't get a chance to be there on Saturday when it premiered, and there was only Dave and Nick who were doing it. Great job, guys! A 3-hour run. Wow, damn. So tonight we're going to have a special episode for people who didn't get a chance or hadn't seen it this weekend, or just come back and want a separate take. Melanie and a couple other people are going to be on tonight. I won't be for. I'm going to at least take a break up until past the giggle. And then hopefully when, like I said, and I appreciate you guys. I'm like, I don't want to be off, but yeah, I appreciate that you recognize that I'm just needing some time, because I don't think I took a single week off since January.
No, I have. I took one earlier in the year.
And people do. It
helps. It does. It really does, man. And I would recommend it to anybody that feels a little bit burnt out as well. If you're running YouTube channels and social medias, sometimes it is good to take that break. People will always understand at the end of the day, because everybody is kind of struggling mentally as well right now with everything that's going on in the world. Glenn Piper says, the Traveling Tardis, try and watch the show when you're ready, mate. Your health and happiness more important. I agree.
Thank you.
The President Lemon says, enjoy the rest, Christian, but I'd say he'd enjoy the rest better with an ice cold glass of freshly squeezed lemonade that's tax free.
Oh, dude, because of the shortages, I am wanting, nothing against you, Lemon. I want eggnog. We have eggnog, but my Chrissy got
never drank it.
It's your taste. I love it because I grew up with it. It was a tradition.
Yeah. I mean, if you grew up with it, great. Irish people, no, not really. I don't think. But my household certainly didn't have eggnog. I think they got it one year in one of those plastic container yolks, bleeding horrible. Oh, it sounded horrible. Oh man, it was horrible. I had one piece, never had it again.
I tried eggnog with a little bit of alcohol. It doesn't work for me. It has to be pure. But Chrissy got me the generic. She got me the Publix brand, and there's nothing like the TG Lee brand. I don't know what they put into it, but I mean, even I will pay extra for that small bottle. Yeah, exactly. Now I'll have a glass of Irish cream and egg.
Yeah, that's me. That's me, though. That's me. An Irish coffee Christmas over the Christmas. I have a couple of them because, as you know, around Christmas time I get me bottles of whiskey in. And yes, I like to have an old Irish cream coffee. And guys, but that's my Christmas beverage. His is eggnog. There's nothing wrong with that. Cheryl drinks some mad concoction as well. Is whatever you want. She drinks hot chocolate with all sorts, man. I mean, she puts every fucking Christmas flavor you can think of into a bleeding hot chocolate Christmas.
Guys, whatever beverage that you enjoyed this holiday season,
that's it.
Have a virtual cheers on me wherever you're at. Just take your glass and just bang it to the sky, and just think of me giving my eggnog bang back. What? God, that was tolerable. But I just, enjoy what you got, because, this is it can be a stressful time. And this is supposed to be a reminder of things that make you happy, of family that you've forgotten, of people you just not had associated with. This is the time to just decompress, enjoy life, because it's short, it's horrible, but it can be amazing depending upon how.
Well, it is. I mean, things that are happening around us are horrible. Absolutely. But if you've got good people around you, as you said, then your life is not so bad. It's but what I like about the little YouTube communities that we've all built up is that, when everybody is in the chat, everybody's asking everybody how they are and stuff like that, and making sure that everybody is grand. So I like that. People do really care, and they do it all the time. It's not just around Christmas time. I have to say about my chat anyway, and I think your chat is the same. The people they have each other's backs and look out for each other and make sure everybody is fine, and that's the way it should be. Glenn Piper says though, Christopher Eccleston went on the record and said he had a problem with RTD, didn't he? He said Russell gave him a headache, not the fact I was tired. Think we finally seeing Russell's true colours. Well, maybe. See, Christopher Eccleston as well. He's a flawed human being, and something did go on between them, which made Christopher Eccleston either leave the role or he was going to be fired. But according to Christopher Eccleston, he didn't even know he was fired until David Tennant was announced. So something definitely did go on. And there have been people lately saying stuff about RTD. But again, you have to be careful because remember, even though I'm not liking what RTD is doing right now, there are some people that will be driven by an agenda and may put out some false facts just to, suit their agenda. And I know that there are a couple of people out there, high profile within the Doctor Who fandom, that have put out nonsense like that RTD is difficult and all of that. Every showrunner is anyway, right? Because their neck is on the line. So for anybody thinking that RTD is this sweet, perfect man behind the scenes, well, then these are all naive, really, because showrunners are probably the worst people you can fucking work for. They're very demanding, they're fucking, especially RTD. He's setting his ways, he's setting his beliefs, and if you don't pull along with him, that's it. Of course, he's going to be an asshole. We already know that. So there's no point of reporting on stuff that we already know. We see how he reacts with fans anyway. So if he reacts with fans like that, then obviously he's difficult with people behind the scenes if he's openly engaging with fans like that. Come on, it's not a hard stretch. Do you know what I mean? So that shit is irrelevant to me. What's relevant to me is that he was brought in to do a job, and he's not doing that job. I don't care if he's nasty behind the scenes, right? Once he produces the best version of fucking Doctor Who, I don't give a shit. Right? Okay. When I say nasty, I don't mean I'm being a bully and literally mentally torturing people or stuff like that. But if he's demanding and stuff like that, remember, people are soft nowadays, right? They think that demanding is some sort of bullying, or coming in on time is bullying. You hear these people with their time blindness nonsense and all that me and Kristen talked about a couple of weeks back. Right? This is what you're dealing with in society. So, again, we have to be careful, right? RT, course, he is an asshole behind the scenes.
It's the word you're looking. Well, the word you're looking for, and actually, as funny as it sounds, I don't mean this in a negative way. It's just an observation. The word you're looking for is narcissist, and I you got to agree with me, Noel. We're podcasters. We're narcissists. We want our content. We want our stuff out there, and we want it the way we want to set it. And as being showrunners, no matter what we're doing, if we're doing it ourselves or we have 100 people, we make the final decision. And when people come in and start, I'm not defending it, but I've been in positions where, people come in and go and they really get aggressive on you. At some point, you just have to go, no. I'm the showrunner. This is the way it goes. If you can do a better job, you can put your coin down and prove it to me.
But look, we had Noel Clarke on, right? Noel Clarke has directed and written some movies, and he even said it himself when he was here that people found him difficult to work with because he was such a perfectionist. He wanted people to be in on time. He wanted things done perfectly, and he didn't go his way. He let people know. And that's their job. When you work for someone, listen, I worked in high-pressured kitchens, right? Mm-hmm. A head chef, right, is constantly screaming and shouting down at you. Constantly in a busy kitchen, right? Sometimes you feel like absolute dirt. right? But the head chef doesn't mean it. He's under fucking pressure just as much as you are to fucking please him. Do you know what I mean? It's the job.
Dude, I used to work at theme parks, and I worked a majority of the time in stroller shops. You want to talk about high pressure?
That's what I mean.
It's just, yeah, you
Pe-
just it builds up, and you just got to release the valve. And showrunners may come across, and I think people misinterpret it. Like I said, I'm still learning about 100 other things, how I can approach things. I will not be one to say I still, I know everything. I don't know everything, and I still got a lot to learn.
yeah,
And it's every growing pain, and unfortunately, some of the people in your audience have seen it. They understand what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Every
But don't
growing
get it.
pain, yeah, don't let it get to you. But when your heart's in it, when you're passionate about it, it really does more damage to your heart than it really you want it to. It's really hard to be thick-skinned, and you try to want to appreciate everybody who's been part in the role, but then at the same time you're like, no.
The one thing I will say, look, I'm not defending RTD in any way. Behind the scenes, I don't care what he's like. He's under pressure. He's got to deliver. What I do care about then is what I do care about is what he produces and how he's been talking to fans.
Exactly.
That's not justified, right? And he is, listen, he is in the public eye, right? And he's in the public eye for how long? Decades, right? So he should be used to criticism by now. But he's acting like he's getting criticism. Maybe it is because the first time in his career, because let's be honest, most people have praised his work all the way through the years, right? He's not really being criticized as much as Stephen Moffat, I would say, or even Chris Chibnall, right? I think this is the first time he has faced serious criticism in his career, and he just is responding like someone that's never got criticism before.
I just on a basic notion, when I've just been growing up, and when I'm, any business or anything that I've ever handled, especially when I was working in theme parks, there there's a point where you got to pull up the thick skin, straighten up the backbone, and just deal with it. And if it's
Well, if
not
you don't, you won't survive. That's what my head chef said to me. Look, I give an out. He pulled me aside one day because he did actually go a little bit too far. One day because I wasn't. Being in fairness, I didn't hear him, but he fucking made a show me in the kitchen, and he knew that he actually got to me. But he did have the grace to fucking pull me aside when we were less busy and say, "Look, I went too far there. I crossed the line. I apologize, but you've got to understand that we're both under pressure here, and that's not what I really think of you, blah, 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 blah." We went and had a pint after a shift. Everything was fucking grand. But he explained, your boss is your boss. You know what I mean? But then if your boss starts lashing
right,
out at customers,
yeah,
like if my head
exactly.
chef
I'm
went
just like,
out lashing out at customers, say, here, you're bang out of order. You
hey,
know what I
dude,
mean? You would be banging
the
out of order.
the income that is supposed to be making sure we have a business, you just yelled at. And that's the thing. It's just like, as far as people, if anybody comes up, and people have, oh, sorry, I hit my microphone. If anybody comes up and criticizes my show, I can take it for what it's worth. I think it's more important that it judges better character on how I reacted. If somebody comes in and to, my show, which they have, and says your show sucks, or, I'm not watching your show, or there's something going on, whatever means, I just simply let that water off the duck. That, to
Yeah,
me,
now I do. I
I
don't
let
react.
I let that go. Now, if somebody has a legitimate criticism, let's just say tax-free President Lemon comes up and say, "Christian, your microphone isn't working," or "Christian, it made you look bad to do this," and they did it in a way like if they sent me a message saying, "Hey, you know what?" Privately, or if they have no choice but to put it on the YouTube channel and say, "Hey, Christian, this didn't come out right," and so I will be very open to it. If you are showing me respect, you will be reciprocated that respect. And a lot of times people have done that. I've said, "Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will learn
Yeah.
for next time." And that is how you handle this. Your show. Thanks. Probably is. So, but there is a way to handle that, and to go out there and go Taika Waititi or whatever his name is, and go, I will, I'll break your mythos, or I will tough. Why would that guy want to stick around?
Well,
And
no,
why
they
would
won't stick, but
anybody
that's the
want?
thing. They never do stick around. They do all of this damage. They laugh at fans for reacting negatively to what they've done, and then they just sail off into the wind because as far they got paid already, so they're okay. They don't give a shit. They just move on to the next thing. And this
Right,
is
but
what I don't like about modern way of doing things, or way the industry does it. That's not how you. That's not how you should do it. You should care about these things as much as we do. Because if you do them right and you respect them, trust
yeah,
me, you'll make money. I don't know why you don't want to make money. That's the question that should be asked by every single YouTuber out there
but
that does this thing. Why do
but
you not want to make money? That's the question.
but that
Ask them
public
all.
response became a meme. It was screenshotted, it was sent all over, it was sent to me, and that is enough to warrant. Not only that, what is that thing? The best word of mouth is reputation, and one person tells five people, and those five people tell five other people, and that's that meme that went around there when he
Well,
responded
word of
tough to
mouth.
that.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth. Well, I tell you what word of mouth is going to do for the second episode. 5.08 for the Star Beast. You're looking at
Love you
least
too,
a
President.
700 to a million drop for the second episode. So to all you guys out there that said, "Oh, screw the ratings and ratings don't matter," congratulations, because if it goes off BBC One, because BBC One, listen, prime time Saturday night, right? No excuse now, right? It was on Sunday. Kidnall could hide behind that, right? RTD can't hide behind this now. He's got his time slot back. Prime time Saturday night, and only 5 million tuned in, and it was beaten by two other programs, right? The
Mm-hmm.
flagship show for the BBC was beaten by another one of their shows, right? The flagship show, 60th anniversary, by the way, right? The 50th anniversary got double the viewership, double the viewership. Now, I said this last week, I think it was. I says, for this to be considered a successful episode, it would at least need to get to between 8 to 9 million, because Jodie's got 13, her first episode, 12, over 12, right? Nearly 13, right? So for everything that went on, I took that into account, the last era, right? And I thought, if they get a viewership around, if RTD can manage to get a viewership around 8 million, that will be considered a success, right? But it didn't. It got less, 3 million less than what I thought it would get. I said the night before, it'd probably get 8.2 in the overnights. I was wrong by 3.2 million. Now, anybody that knows me and has been watching me over the years knows that during the Jodie Whittaker era, I actually was pretty good at calling the overnights. But I got it totally wrong here. Absolutely wrong. This isn't a success. This is the first episode of the 60th anniversary of the show. The 60th.
Which should have been bringing 10 to 13 million viewers.
Should have at least brought in
With a
nine, at
David
least
Tennant,
9 or 10 with the run that they've had over the
with a
last few
David
years.
Tennant and a Catherine Tate
Yeah, there
leading the
should have been the
brand.
pulls, but even they weren't the pull for this. And I'll talk about David Tennant's acting because I wasn't happy in some parts of it. There was something off about his performance and most of the performances as well, which I'll get into tomorrow. But this was not good. And to say that, well, it's the best launch of a drama in the last 5 years, well, then that just goes to show, and I'll say it again, that BBC standards have completely hit the fucking floor if that is the case. Because if that's the best thing that's being launched in 5 years, if that's what you're telling me, he's in serious fucking trouble then. And by the way, Defund the BBC. Someone says if you get rid of the TV license, you save Doctor Who. Listen, defund the BBC has been going around since the early 2010s, right? And there's still loads of people out there with a TV license, right? People are not going to boycott, right? Because you got the left that have brainwashed half of the population. So you're not going to get people to get rid of their TV license. This is why I'm saying boycotts are not going to work now. We're past boycotts, we're past giving up the TV license because Disney have injected cash into this. Remember, they've tripled, as Christian said there, they tripled the money that they've given for this. So it's going nowhere. So you can get rid of the TV license all you want now. It's too late. Disney is running Doctor Who with Bad Wolf Studios. BBC Studios distribute it just like Disney Plus. And they all have input. So it's not going anywhere. So boycotts, giving up the TV license, we're way past that now. So now we just have to sit back because we already know that he's filmed the fourth season and he's already filming the second season. So you've got 2 seasons at least to fucking watch the show degrade even further, right? And then obviously, then if Russell decides to stay, then obviously that's extended. So it's done. It's done. There's no boycotts, TV license, defund the BBC. That's all out the window. Should have defunded the BBC, just like the Irish people did with RTE. The RTE will need a 56 million bailout. See, the Irish people don't fuck around, right? When they say defund RTE, they actually defunded RTE. People got rid of their fucking TV license. But in the UK, you didn't do that. You didn't do that because if you did that, you're right. Doctor Who probably would be saved because BBC being financial fucking ruin, they wouldn't be able to afford to put the fucking show on TV, so they'd have to shelve it until they got themselves back or did what BBC were known for years ago, telling the fucking truth. Remember, all of these news organizations at some fucking point used to tell the truth, and then obviously they saw that there was a lot of money in following the propaganda, and that's what they've done ever since. Right? So forget about boycotts. It's done. Anyway, I'm going to check the private chat because a few minutes left.
That's
right,
okay,
Christian?
yeah.
What if there's any last words you want to give there? But I think it is today, Christian. I think the boycotts and all of this, that time has passed now, hasn't it? It's done. The time to boycott this was Jordan the Chibnall era, but nobody would.
I'm like I said, I'm not a big on the boycott thing. I mean, you make it. To me, it should be an open decision. You should make the decision, and let everything fall where it may. And if something is not gelling well with people, then they shouldn't watch. They should not feel like, oh, if you don't watch this, then let me insert name here that has nothing to do with what's going on. I think you should feel, and right now, RTD did it. I haven't watched the episode yet. I don't know when I will watch those 3 episodes. I do want to say tonight, just to switch gears, please subscribe Legend, the Traveling Tardis, and the Noel Zone. Melanie will be helming, and we're going to do a 2-part on the Star Beast. Go over there, have a great chat, talk with Melanie and whoever's going to be on, and say your piece. You should be able to say it. That's what the show is all about. Whether you hated it, whether you liked it, whether there might be something. The great thing is about our show is we try to find the common ground about the audience, about the panelists, and we see and we explore it. But we don't take it out on each other, or we don't try not to take it out on each other. But that's where I think all geekdom should be. Not just us. I think that should be everybody, whether it be politics, whether it be geekdom, whether it be just you're having dinner, you're having your Christmas dinner with somebody. I think it should be a place where we should be able to say something. We should respect each other, and we should say it the way we want to say it. And and I for me, I'm learning this too. You guys do what you want to do. I would just be careful when you post something to somebody or on somebody else's pages, because I've caught myself. I've seen other people do it. Is this going to be productive? Is this going to be positive? Is this going to do anything? Or are you just screaming in the air and just, they're not going to change their mind. So do what you think is right, and don't let it get you down. Don't let somebody coming in there who is, who may be saying something you think is utterly out of bizarre world. Just be careful if when you respond, because I'm also finding that even when I ask a simple question like, "Hey, I have a question. Is this going to be positive? Is it going to make things better?" And the problem is us as a geekdom now, we're not even looking at that anymore, and it sucks. We should be able to talk like Noel and I do. We should be able to disagree and agree like Noel and I do. And then we find common ground and we talk about it, we walk away. And if I was in Ireland, I would be giving Noel a pint for being on the show.
Yay! He finally did it. He finally said Ireland instead of the UK. Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Well, I
Thank
think
you.
it's because you changed your logo.
Christmas. Do you know what? Christmas has come early, folks. Christmas has come early. Yay! But go on now, because you're making very good points. Go ahead, Christian. But thank you.
I just want to say, hey, please subscribe to our channels. That's how you get your voice out there. That's how we get our voices out there. We want to promote our discussion. Even though I'm taking a break, I'm not going to be on the shows, but I will be in the background because Christmas is coming and we're going to be doing the 25 days of Christmas on the Traveling Tardis. You're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have music. We're going to have videos from Dalek Hal or the Traveling TARDIS and some new stuff coming out over there. And you can keep an eye up on our YouTube channel. I'm going to try to put out at least some fun music and stuff every day throughout the holidays. So if anything else, you come to the Traveling TARDIS, you can look at the fun pictures, you can watch really classy videos and have some fun and just say, hey, this is a nice place to go to. I want you to be the home for the Whovians who just want to relax and enjoy Doctor Who the way that I do. And I want you to be a part of it. So without further ado, got to run, guys. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. I'll try to see if I can be on next week. I'll let Noel know, but yeah, I'll be taking.
No, listen, if you're taking that break, man, take your break and we'll see you when you come back.
I don't mind this show because, I don't mind doing this show because I'm not hosting.
Okay.
When I'm hosting and paneling and doing commercials and all that stuff, that really, believe it or not, I know it sounds simple for some people. It's just like, it really does put a burden on you, especially we did 2 shows this past Saturday. So it was really throwing things into a tailspin. So anyway, guys, take care of yourselves. President Lemon, I'm going to get you some lemonade when I get over there, tax-free. Take care of yourselves and bye for now. Thank you so much.
See you later, Christian. Anyway, the big one is tomorrow, where finally do my review of the Star Beast with the panel at 8 o'clock. I will put the stream up now shortly. And yeah, so everybody knows it is there, ready to go. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. Obviously, if you're a football fan, I'll be over on the other channel doing the Manchester United game. So if you want to join me for that, you're more than welcome. If not, I will see you back here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Tomorrow evening for the Star Beast panel review. So yeah, come and join me. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the 2 streams that we've thrown out. One in the afternoon and obviously one this evening. I hope you've enjoyed them. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. And welcome to all the new subscribers or all subscribers, whoever you are that have subscribed to the channel recently. I do want to thank you all. It really is appreciated. And as I said, we'll continue to report on this train wreck, and of course the media will come all guns blazing when the 2nd episode comes out, so we'll highlight some of the media coverage as well as we did the last time. Remember, folks, I'm just watching this because obviously RTD does need to be called out if he continues this. It's not right that the show be used in this way time and time again. It's about time that the people that are supposed to be looking after the show actually do that. So Glenn says he'll see me tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. President Lemon says go Manchester United. Well, we need a good result. We played well the weekend, so hopefully. And that Garnacho goal was just something of beauty. But hopefully now we do a job at Galatasaray and then we beat Bayern Munich and we'll qualify for the knockout stages. But a few weeks back, it was looking all dire. You look at us now, we're only 6 points behind the leaders and 5 points behind Manchester City with the worst start of the season. So we've there's still plenty to be optimistic about as a Manchester United fan. It's been a tough one this season, but hopefully we've turned the corner now after that Everton result. And for the rest of you that don't like football, thank you for indulging me there, and President Lemon for a couple of seconds there. So see you soon, folks. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. You are all legends. Look after yourselves, and I will talk to you for the big one tomorrow, which is the Star Beast panel review, where we will be dissecting the episode. We'll be telling you what we liked, disliked, and of course, we'll give you our all-important ratings for that as well. So join myself and regular hosts, PD Rich and Queen Charlotte, and we should be definitely joined by some guests. So come and join us for it. It's going to be a very interesting stream. And then finally, a lot of yous then can actually say what you wanted to say, because a lot of yous have been very good and didn't spoil that and either while I was waiting to watch it. So I want to thank you all, because I know how difficult it is in fandom today to keep a secret, but a lot of yous did. So thank you. Really appreciate it. Good night. God bless. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.